How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a wonderful night tonight, and I hope you're having a great day today. It's time to do some animation, time to creative, time to talk about imagination and inspiration, and try and delve into that creative process. So for today's inspiration, I grabbed out the Animator Survival Kit, one of the huge animation bibles that every animator should have read and reread and reread. I could use for at least another 6 or 7 or 8 readings of this, and I probably should. But anyways, so today I'm kind of following what we talked about yesterday with James Gurney, and talking about how what we see is different than what a camera can capture, because we kind of see it through our own biases and our own vision and our own interpretation of the world. This is what Richard Williams kind of had to say on a similar subject, on the subject of realism. You want enough realism to be convincing, but you don't want so much that you ask, why don't you just take a photograph? And then he throws this great little drawing that he has here of a rabbit that's really well rendered, and then a little cartoon rabbit next to it. And I think that's important to talk about, that with animation, it's an art form. It's not really about just replicating exactly what you could see in real life, because then you're spending all this time when why don't you just record it with a video camera? But I mean, especially with a lot of the rigs that we're using for these things, there's no way that we could really do that either. But that's part of the art form, is bringing life into things that are not real, you know. And I think that's important, to not try and be so tight and so accurate with everything, but really play with it, make it have some meaning other than just, oh, that looks nice, you know. Try and get creative and get inspired and really get into this different stuff. So anyways, this is the Meever rig. It's a free rig you can grab over on Creative Crash. I will throw a link in the information below. You can download it and play with it yourself. I've never used this rig before with this current series. Just kind of giving ourselves about anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. The last couple of videos have been a little bit shorter, which is great because it means that the rigs are really easy to use, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, we'll kind of go over a little bit of inspiration, talk a little bit about the creative process, and then get in and do some animating. So without further ado, let's get into that. This is Maya, the 2010 version, which I like to use a little bit more because it seems to stream a little bit better, so I can watch my animation back a little bit faster there. So let's go ahead and get into here. Turn our grid off. And let's see what we got here for this guy. It's got a lot of controls, that's for sure. Let's see. What's this? Is the body control? What's this? This is a tail. And let's create another layer so we can hide that. Let's grab this and let's get in and create our first kind of pose here. It's kind of crab-like, or sea creature like. So we'll try and make sure that we get some of that in there too. It'll be interesting to use 3 legs. I think what we'll do is we'll kind of animate this like a quadruped, but then we'll just offset the back feet a couple more frames. So that way we'll kind of do, you know, front and back. That way it gives us a good starting point for how we're going to approach this shot. And let's go ahead and pull that in. Pull these in. Supposed to be? These are supposed to be eye controls? Interesting. Let's go ahead and raise that up then. Raise that up. I think we'll use them more like antennas since there's not really an eyeball. Not really sure what we'll do with those. And then he's got kind of funky hands up here. So let's see. What we could do with these. It's like a little crab robot kind of thing. Very cool looking though. It's very important to get a lot of character in that first pose for a walk, especially on these kind of quicker ones, because we want to use a lot of that to sell the character of the walk or the feel to it. Like I said, definitely pick up a copy of that Animator's survival kit. I don't think I talked about this nearly enough. I mean, it goes through and it just breaks down stuff frame by frame, so especially if you're just starting out and just learning. And even I use it for reference a lot myself, because I think with animation, you should always have a spirit of always learning and always pushing yourself a little bit more. I don't know, I don't think you could ever truly master it. It's just because each different, like this rig versus another rig is going to be a totally different thing. And I could spend, months getting into every single different controller and trying to figure out best ways to do that. So I don't know. It's a really cool art form. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm drawn to it myself, is for the very playfulness of the art form, but also the constant unmastery of it. I feel like there's new things that I try all the time that make it a lot more difficult, or new challenges to overcome. Let's go ahead and give a little bit of bend to these rather than have them straight up. Look more like antennas. It's kind of strange that there's no real main body controller. What's this? Is this it? Yeah, there's the root. Okay, I was wondering why there was no real root. But there is. Okay. Good. Let's go pull them in a little bit more rather than have them out so much, so that we can get a bit better forward and back for these. Okay, so let's go ahead and save our file here real quick. Cool, file, save scene as, and let's call this Meever walk, and save that, and I'll grab all this. And we'll hit S to set our first key here. Now let's get all the foundational movements in first. So let's go ahead and take those and move those in a little bit more. Okay, now let's grab back feet and this front foot and take them to, let's just do 12. We'll just stick with our kind of base 6 movement speed for this one. Since we've got a lot to work with here, I think we'll keep the timing fairly basic, and then use the more spacing and the uniqueness of this model to get where our more character will go from, rather than the timing. Let's see. This might be too far back, though. again, remember, we're just kind of laying the foundation right now. So we just want to get the basic idea and movement set up here, and then we'll get into a lot more once we get that done. Let's go take that forward. And then let's take what we have here at 36 and move that up to 8. And then we'll grab the root controller and we'll push it forward again. And let's go into the graph editor here, window, animation editors, graph editor, and we'll go to translate C. And we definitely need to kick that up a little bit more. And that's okay. And then we'll readjust some of these steps now that we got. And duplicate that key to 24. I want to avoid those arms doing that, so let's go ahead and pull this guy back a little bit more. And let's go ahead and fix this front arm, front paw, claw, what would we call them? I'll pull that forward a little bit more then. And duplicate that key, just middle mouse button, and drag, and then hit S key. And we want to take that forward to there. Let's go and watch that now. That's way too far forward, so let's pull that back. Let's pull this one back a little bit more. Just want to try and get a little bit of silhouette between those feet there. Maybe back a little bit more, just so it's like into the head. And this one, we want to pull that back maybe a little bit more. That's a good space right there. We want to do that. Okay, maybe that's a little too much there, so I can pull that back a little bit. It's a little bit of give and take here as we get those set up, just so we can get some nice silhouette movements there. Let's go ahead and pull that in a little bit more so we can get it. I think it was just translated out in X a little bit too far. Which means that we should be able to push our translate Z's a little bit more since we pulled the scale down to X. And let's go ahead and put it there. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that now. Okay, now let's go ahead and grab all of these, and we want to do our passing position, so we're going to make sure we key the 1 and the 12, and we'll take the 6, we'll raise it up. We'll take what we have at 24 and 36, make sure we have those keyed again, and then we'll raise them up. Let's watch it. And now let's go ahead and go to the other side here. Back. This one, and this one. And we'll take what we have at 12 and 24, make sure those are keyed, and raise them up. 36 and 48 and 42. We're going to go ahead and raise that up again too. Let's go ahead and watch that now. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into passing position here. So we can go ahead and raise it up and put it down and raise it up and put it down and raise it up. This will help sell that there's weight and everything to these movements for sure. Excuse me, got the hiccups today. And we'll go in our graph editor and we'll even those movements out a little more. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that now. And I realize that those arms are staying back, but we don't have to worry about that just yet. I guess we could move them forward now just so that they stay in sync with the... Oh. Okay, and now let's go ahead and go in here and push the weight over these back planted feet and the weight over those back planted feet and back again and back again, and we'll go back and zero that out. Let's take those translate X and we'll even them up here. And there we go. Let's go and watch that. We can watch it from this angle too and make sure that stuff's still working. Looking good. Okay, let's go ahead and Control S and save our file. It's always good to save multiple versions and to save often. Okay, so let's go ahead and rotate Y that towards the forward planted foot and towards that and that and that and that. And now we're favoring the planted forward, what'd you call it, talon? The chickens have large talons. Just watch Napoleon Dynamite. You really should. It's a good movie. I got a little bit of sway there. Okay. Okay, so they're favoring those planting. Actually, let's go the opposite way. And we'll offset that by doing the legs that way. I'll show you in a second what we're going to do there. Because normally, if this was the hip controller, but this is more kind of like a chest controller. If we were to think about it, the hip controller would be back here, because this would be more like the feet, so we have to treat this like... Okay, let's go ahead and grab both of these guys, and this is where we're going to offset that movement, so we'll do our rotate Z. Oh, is there no rotate Z on this one? Yeah? Why did I not grab them both? Okay, maybe we'll have to do them both individually. That's okay. I thought they would kind of move a little bit more uniform together, but that's okay to do it. And we'll go into this guy. Z. Oh, come on. Grab the right controller here. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I'll have to offset this guy now. Alright, that's okay. That's alright. We should just go ahead and delete those rotates and we'll go back in. I should have thought of that. And we really want to get this front one working, and then we'll get the back working. Okay. And go in here and fix that. Kind of strange that they aren't working together, but that's okay. We can make them do it. And that should work better. There we go. And then let's see if they'll both work and rotate Y. There we go. It's starting to work. Let's get the rotate Y's here. And we'll do average them out, balance them out a little bit more. And our graph editor. Okay, let's see how that works. And let's go ahead and let's see. Maybe we can do a little bit of rotate X there. And back out. And back out. This will add a little bit of like compression into the spine of this character, and I think that'll help as well. But I don't think we want to do too much, so let's go ahead and scale that back down a little bit. We'll have to see how much we want to do with here. It's always okay to do too much and pull it back, rather than continue edging forward lightly and lightly and lightly. Let's go ahead and rotate X, and back, and X, and back, and X, and back, and X, and back. Let's see. Let's first go ahead and shrink those down, but I think I'm going to want to do a lot more rotate on that tip of the tail. we're done doing this, let's go ahead and save our file as well, just so we don't lose the work that we already have going on. Let's see. Save our file again. Let's go ahead and get back into this guy. Just kind of got to crank up the values on that tail a little bit more so there's a little more. Maybe that's a little too much. Let's go ahead and grab both of those and we'll delay them both a frame. And let's grab this one and we'll delay that a frame as well. See if that'll give us more of that successive movement that we want. Okay, I think I'm really going to tone down that rotate X then on this guy. That's feeling pretty good. Maybe a little too much on everything. Could probably tone it down a little bit more. It's all about finding a good balance between everything. So you get the movement you want. I don't know that we necessarily need the eye to only focus on that tail, so I gotta tone it down a little bit more. But that feels good. Now let's grab the movement on this one. Let's go ahead and I was kind of hoping there might be a rotate on there, but it doesn't look like there is. That's okay. Let's go ahead and take the movement on those and move them forward a frame so that they kind of lead the action a little bit more. Let's go and see how that works. And let's go ahead and grab these ones, all of these here. We'll go ahead and delay them a frame. And let's go ahead and grab these back legs as well, and we'll delay them one more frame. And that should offset everything. Let's go ahead and add some more bounce to these guys. So we can squash them down and raise them up. And squash them down and raise them up. And squash it down, raise it up. Squash it down and raise it up. Let's go ahead and see how that feels. Let's go ahead and delay that 2 frames. Let's see. And let's go ahead and switch the values there. So our downs are our ups and our ups are our downs. Let's go and watch that now. exaggerate them just a little bit more. We don't need them to go up so high though, maybe we just do a little more on the down level. Let's see. Okay, and that might be a little too much movement, so let's just tone it down a little bit more. Let's go, what's that now? Let's do a little bit of sway in these guys here. We gotta make sure we're grabbing everything though. Come on. There we go. Let's go ahead and delay the frame here as well. Maybe we'll scale it down a little bit more. We just kind of want to do a little bit of keep alive on these. I don't necessarily need them to do too much here. And then let's go ahead and we're going to just offset down here. So we'll delay all those a frame. Frame, and then the tips there, and we'll delay those a frame. Let's go and watch that now. Let's go ahead and accentuate these guys even more. Let's add a little bit of like squash and stretch to them by doing a little bit of rotate X in there. Let's see. Just want to tighten that up a little more. Let's go and see that now. Yeah, let's see what we can do. We'll just throw a little more rotate X into this one to start off with. It just felt a little too rigid. guess we could delay these one more frame. And we'll accentuate that a little more. Let's see. Maybe we'll delay it one more frame too. And maybe one more frame. And let's take this whole side here and we'll delay a frame as well. Let's see. Let's see. And now let's throw a little bit of drag in the wrist here. Maybe it's going to be this guy instead. Right idea, wrong positioning. So we'll flip that and flip this back here, back there. Okay, let's see that now. Let's go ahead and take these back steps and let's go ahead and delay them one more frame. Let's see. Maybe we could do a little bit of rotate Y here. So be kind of like that, kind of like that, that, and like that. Let's go ahead and check that out then. Okay, let's see how that turned out. Goes forward, then goes back. And let's do the same with that one. Yeah, that'll work. that too much? Is it not enough? Let's see. Maybe we could tone down this one a little bit more. Let's see. There we go. That's better. Let's do a little bit of that here too. Don't want it to feel like it's touching the antenna there. So we can pull it back a little bit more. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go and save what we have, and then let's do a little bit of animation of the fingers here. Just a little bit of bounce and looseness to these fingers, and that'll help. Let's see that. Let's delay them all a frame, and then take these two tips, delay those a frame as well. Let's see. That feels about right. Still don't like these antenna things very much. Could always just delete them and not use them. Or we could push them forward. Maybe we can try that. Have them just like seek on the ground kind of thing. Might be. Let's go ahead and save what we have. And scrunch it down here. Pull it back. Scrunch it down. Pull it back. Scrunch it down. And pull it back. Scrunch it down. And pull it back. Let's see if it's... And I'm going to delay everything one frame and take the tips. I'll go ahead and delay those a frame as well. Let's see. Let's do a little bit on the thumb. I don't think I want those as crazy though, so we'll do... Sounds like something's going on in the neighborhood. A little bit of sirens. And let's go and delay that 2 frames just to mix up the timing a little bit and tip 1 more frame. Let's do a little bit on this one here. Instead, this one will delay this thumb just 1 frame, and this one 1 more frame as well. Actually, do 2 frames, so the tip of the thumb will be a little bit floppier. Just to keep it mixed up there. Okay, let's go ahead and just recalibrate on these guys. Just didn't feel like they were as successful as they could be. Just want to get a universal nice bend in there. Let's go ahead and see that now. That's better. And let's go ahead and now we're going to delay everything. So grab all of those and delay a frame. These will delay them a frame. And grab the tips. And we'll delay those a frame as well. Let's go ahead and watch that now. Maybe 1 more frame for these guys. That's better. Alright, I think I'm liking this guy pretty well. Got some nice bounce and delay in those arms. Got the feet working pretty well. I got a nice straight on those back legs to help sell the weight and the tension there. I want to get a little bit lower so we can see a little bit better the silhouette. And let's go ahead and turn our NURB curves off. Let's save our file here. Let's get a little bit better view Alright, well I hope you guys like this. If you do, remember to throw some thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want more. I'll be doing new videos as time permits every day, talking about animation, talking about creativity. Remember, as you're going through your work today, to keep in mind the fundamentals that you really want to learn to capture a lot of the, anatomy or structure or whatever the bases are for whatever creative outlet you do. But then bring your own voice to it. Make it unique through whatever your personal worldview or interpretation is. Otherwise, just take a picture. But yeah, bring your own unique, special style that you have, and only you, amazing person, have. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow, and love you lots. Keep on animating, keep on creating, keep on doing whatever it is that you're passionate about, and share it with people, because you're awesome. Alright, until tomorrow.